Moving on to number 3, Jim Matthews, I see you there. The retired Jim Matthews.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, members of the community. I'm Jim Matthews, your retired fire marshal and interim for a while.
Thank you.
When I was here last time, we introduced the latest edition of the fire code ordinance, and essentially, I'm not going to restate what was just said. So the fire code is really a component of the building code, so everything he said in addition to what I'm about to say. 2 issues popped up last time. One was fireworks, and one was a letter from local civil engineer Gary Laughlin. We talked at length, at least it felt like at length to me, regarding the fireworks. So the fireworks, there are 2 issues with fireworks. The safe and sane fireworks, which are legal in California, in my opinion, are not really the problem, and that's what the component, the regulation of them is what's in this ordinance today. The unlawful fireworks, which are unlawful in the entire state of California, are the problem that we have, just like virtually every other city in the state of California, how to deal with the expanding use of the unlawful fireworks. So I would ask that we keep in mind that the safe and sane are what's on the ordinance tonight. The unlawful fireworks are a completely separate issue. With regard to the letter from Mr. Laughlin, I did have the opportunity to meet with him last Friday. That's the first opportunity he had to meet. And really it was a minor misunderstanding of the interpretation of the code, our local fire sprinkler ordinance, and how it relates to the state code with respect to residential fire sprinklers. We worked through that. That became a non-issue. And then we just had a very good philosophical discussion. Gary Laughlin and I have had a long standing working relationship, and we haven't always agreed, but we've always come away with a solution, and that's where we were. That's where we got to on Friday, and I don't see him here, so I'm very confident that he was satisfied with our meeting and our discussion. So with that, I will try to answer any questions you have.
Are there any questions or comments from staff? Council. Sorry. Seeing none. If the public has any comments on it, they can come forward and, okay, looking for some action?
Mayor,
Yes.
we did have a written request to speak from John. Yeah.
On,
Are you Terrell?
Yes.
Oh,
hold on.
Do you want to talk about, we decided to put it here since it was regarding the,
Okay, yes, and so you've decided to put it here? Please go to the podium, just say your name and chat. Yes, we did speak today.
you did.
I will. My name is John DiUla. I'm a 14-year homeowner and resident of Yuba City. Before I begin, I want to thank all of you for just being amazing, providing the services that you guys provide, all of you, to this wonderful city. I'd also like to personally thank John Buckland, Mayor Cleveland, who I had the honor of speaking to today, John Whitaker, and Chief Landon, who I just got to, I've talked to you many times in the past as well. And also to Terrell for being gracious enough from bumping me from 3 to 5 minutes tonight. This is the first time I've attended a city council meeting. And in light of how much I'd like to say, I want to also apologize in advance if I speak quickly due to that 5-minute limit. I'm here tonight to address the issue of illegal fireworks. I live a few blocks south of Franklin and to the west of Walton near Cherry. The problem that we're having starts well before the 4th of July. In fact, weeks before sometimes 4th of July, and can extend for weeks and even months afterwards, as well as New Year's Eve. In fact, last night, someone close to us was lighting off these mortars and launching these illegal and dangerous fireworks into the air starting at about 1:30 in the morning, and they continued well past 4 a.m. They sound like bombs waking us up and rattling our windows. The best way to describe the issue that we're experiencing is similar to the night that our country entered the first Gulf War in Iraq. And I think a news anchor put it best, and he described it as shock and awe. And that's pretty much what we're experiencing. Each year, I feel like a prisoner in my own home. Come the 4th of July and New Year's Eve, my neighbors and I have to hose down our roofs from our homes, not to mention what our pets go through. All of you in attendance, I'm sure will agree that each year the problem of dealing with these explosives is getting worse and worse. I'm 52 years old. When I was a kid, I mean, the only time you would see explosives like this is if you were in a high-end pyrotechnics display or perhaps even at Disneyland. These things are not firecrackers. They're high-end explosives. Last year, the morning after the 4th, I found holes in my pool cover from these incendiaries. I found not one, but 2 of these fireworks on the roof of my home, one on the roof and the other in the rain gutter. 3 years ago, on July 5th, a bush no less than 10 feet away from my home caught on fire from these fireworks that had been smoldering overnight at the base of the bush. If it wasn't for my neighbor who saw the smoke and the flames and took a garden hose to put out the fire, the result could have meant disaster for me. So here I am, just one homeowner, and I've experienced not just one, but 3 dangerous circumstances due to these fireworks. I'm frustrated in that it seems like nothing's being done. Each time I call the Yuba City Police, I'm told to call the County Sheriff's Department because of where I live. I live on the county, or in the county, excuse me. Both agencies have confessed that unless they actually see someone lighting off these illegal explosives, there's really nothing they can do. Not to mention that they don't have the manpower to respond to all the calls that they receive. What's very concerning to me is that if I myself can drive down any street on the 4th of July, I can see illegal fireworks being discharged from backyards and actually people setting these off in the middle of the street. Yet nothing is being done, and there are, from my understanding, very few, if any, citations being written. Everyone is claiming that their hands are tied, that there isn't enough money to throw at the problem, which I find baffling. I therefore wanted to offer a very simple solution that would hopefully solve this issue. The first is to use the city's social host ordinance that actually, Mayor, you and I discussed this morning, that would hold homeowners and John Buckland, we talked about this as well, to hold the homeowners responsible for these criminal activities. I recommend that all homeowners be put on notice well before the 4th that the city and county are going to implement a zero tolerance approach to fine not only the individuals responsible, but fine the homeowners of up to $10,000 or $20,000 for each offense, to set a precedent in an effort to control the issue of illegal fireworks. In most cases, it's usually just bad, homeowners or renters or possibly even slumlords who simply don't care. They realize that nothing is going to be done. They have nothing really to lose. I would say a very real and possible solution to this would be to put up some drones, some quadcopters in the area. I've already spoken to a few pilots who are professional commercial pilots in this area who said it would be easy to do. You put up 4 or 5 drones in any specific area. They're mobile. They could direct law enforcement exactly to the home that's launching these fireworks. Not only that, but you'd be able to provide video proof as well of where these incendiaries are coming from. I speak, I believe, for many of my neighbors, and we feel like prisoners in our own home. Come these 2 holidays, it's difficult. I would love to enjoy the 4th of July just like everyone else, but I'm stuck. I'm worried about my home catching on fire. I'm worried about my dog under the bed. It's frustrating. I pay my property taxes to make sure that both the city and the county provide me with a safe place to live, and more importantly, to do their job. And I know I apologize, so I've gone over 5 minutes? Okay. I just want to sum it up in that I'm concerned. There is a solution. I ask, therefore, our city council to possibly put together a task force. I would love to participate in it, provide some sort of solution for us so we can combat this issue. Thank you.
Is there, at this time, any response that anybody would like to have regarding some of his recommendation or anything?
I just have some comments because we have spoke on a number of different occasions by phone. This is the first time that I've actually put a face to it. But I have the very same concerns that he has, short of a moratorium that would affect nonprofits in our area. Shutting down fireworks for a year may be one of the solutions. Again, that's a pretty drastic move to make. I came from a community as a kid that didn't allow fireworks, and that was the city of Napa. They still don't allow fireworks, and part of that is from the illegal activities that were occurring back in those days, and also the grass fires that would occur as a result of it. You know, I think that as a community, we need to get together. We need to find a solution. One of those solutions may be to fund and organize a public display, because I've noticed, and I think our discussions have been, that over the course of time, once the public display at Ellis Lake or the river bottoms or wherever it was held at various times, once that came to an end, you saw, or we have experienced, a proliferation of illegal fireworks being displayed in neighborhoods where they don't belong. And they don't belong anywhere in California, I should say, but nonetheless in neighborhoods. So something needs to be done. I think we need to explore it, and I would make that recommendation that this body put together a ad hoc committee to be able to work on that.
Okay, and then we'd also, I would say you need to be involved, and other people that would like to come in and get involved. So I think can develop a task force in some way. TNT that provides a lot of the, of course we have Phantom TNT, and now there's a new one. They do have model ordinances that are available for us to to consider. Most of them don't have heavy teeth in them because of our Constitution. A lot of it is, and our rights. So, but there are some things that we can discuss to do, and then of course the drastic course that is 1 year recommendation. If people don't learn, that could be considered at another time. But I think we need to actually get it out in the public and really get this fully vetted. So we'll see what happens with that.
Well, sir, excuse me. First of all, forgive me, I missed your name. I didn't write it down.
John Diula.
John? I want to thank you for coming here today. You have a problem, you have a concern, you have a legitimate concern. You came here, you're very articulate, you have positive examples, relevant examples. I was feeling for you. Burn a hole in the pool cover and your dogs and all that nonsense going on by people who clearly don't care about anything but themselves. And so I concur with the mayor and Councilman Buckland that we will put together something to address that. I know we can work with the sheriff's department and the police department, and I might have access to a few highway patrolmen, and we definitely work on that. And I think it's very the public education and getting the word out there ahead of time serves its purpose. But these people who are doing that, in my opinion, know they're doing something illegal. The time has come to pull out the ticket book and maybe even take some people to jail if we need to get that message out there, in my opinion.
Can I interject something?
Perhaps, yes.
I spoke
I'm
to
assuming.
Tim Annis, I guess, Jim, do you know him? He's the fire marshal for Davis. Really nice guy. He said they fixed the issue back in the 1950s. And I said, what was that? And he said, they
we don't wanna-
completely outlawed fireworks. And I agree with John.
If you're gonna, we really need to move on. We
Yeah.
understand. That's something that'll happen during the discussion of the
We'll
task
discuss
force and
that.
stuff.
But I just want to express my appreciation for you, your concern. I want you to know that you've been heard, and I completely agree with you. All right.
Okay, there was.
Mr. Mayor?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, the voice from over here. Just a couple options for you to consider. You can ask staff to bring this back in the form of a staff report for decision. Given the fact that it is on your council, so not to confuse the public, oftentimes people from the public will come and speak on a matter and the council is unable to comment upon it because it's not agendized. This matter is agendized for this evening's meeting. So if you do decide that you would like to appoint any sort of ad hoc committee meeting committee, you could do so tonight, or of course defer it back to staff for a staff report. Thank you.
Do you want to do an ad hoc committee, or do you want to do staff and then see what happens there? What's the recommendation?
My recommendation would be to work through staff to begin with, and then at a later date establish an ad hoc committee and
And then get the public involved.
bring the public into it. we have some time to move before the 28th of June, when the first mortars are launched at about 8:05 in the evening. So
Yeah.
we can work on this.
Okay,
Yeah, well, as we heard, they moved into last night, so.
so, and actually that could have been also out in the fields. They have those, scaring animals and different things. They have, I forgot, zon guns and things out there and out in the, farming. Since I was at the county, I had to deal with the zon gun issue, previously, so. Yeah.
Pretty obvious that it's a mortar.
Okay. But anyway, we already have a, motion, and, so we'll go for a second and continue.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. All in favor of this current, ordinance updates?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Seeing none? Unanimous, approval on the updates.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Charlie.